Hello everyone, Father Scott Vanderveer here on a snowy day. And maybe it's because my father used to keep bird watching records for Cornell Cooperative Extension, and I would come out in the mornings and have Dad sitting there at the table with a list of 16 or 17 different varieties of birds that he'd seen at the bird feeder or on branches in the backyard, and then would write all of them down and send them all in to Cornell Cooperative Extension so they could learn more about bird migration patterns. Maybe it's because of that, or maybe it's just in my personality to sometimes make a little list of things that happen. And one of them is that I know that my last swim outdoors this year was September 17th. It was at Lake George, and it was beautiful. It was starting to get just a little too cold to be able to go regularly, and I had a feeling that that might be the last swim of the season. But here I am, 2 months later, with the first snowfall. The seasons are tremendous teachers for us. How strange is it that I was wearing a bathing suit and swimming in water just 2 months ago, and now the same location is covered in slush. The seasons remind us that life is not static. It does not stand still. It does not have just one mode of operating. Life is always dynamic and moving. The temperatures over the past 2 months have fallen, as have the leaves off of the trees. And everyone knows that the fall and the spring often provide us with transitions that are shockingly fast. Sometimes it can feel like it's been winter forever. And then all of a sudden, we have 2 or 3 warm days in a row, and the snow is gone, and the grass turns green, and the leaves and the blossoms explode. The same is true in the fall. One day, you're swimming in Lake George, and the next day, there's a freeze. And then all the leaves are changed colors. It's amazing what happens in the flip-flop of seasons that we experience in the Northeast of the United States, and that so many people experience around the world. Even in those places near the equator, the seasons often rotate between rainy season and dry season. I have a friend who talks about the challenges of his life in the same way. He'll say, I'm in a season of grief right now, or I'm in a season of hard work. Parents might say, in the middle of raising children, this is a busy season of life. And season is probably the right word, because nature has taught us that life is dynamic. It's not static. We can't depend on how we feel at one point on the journey to be exactly the way we feel on another. And while I could have been wearing a bathing suit 2 months ago and been sitting comfortably in an Adirondack chair, now I've got 4 layers on and I'm chilly. So when we recognize that nature provides us with that ongoing flow from one to another, we can also remember that we are not going crazy when it feels like our life is in a new mode, has shifted into something that we weren't experiencing before. That's not a mistake. That's part of the dynamism of being alive. So what kind of a season are you in now? Are you in a joyful season, a challenging season, a busy season, a lonely season? Does the season of your life that you're in now feel disorienting because it came on so fast, kind of like winter always feels that it does? Is the season of life you're in feeling permanent? Have you begun believing that it'll never change, that this is the permanent season that you're in? The changing of seasons is a great spiritual teacher for us all. May all of us go forward learning from nature that nothing stays the same, and that the only way to go through the seasons of life is trustingly and acceptingly and patiently, one day, one season at a time. May God bless you all.